Please give a nice warm welcome to Josh Menchions!
This little old lady holds a subway car right in front of me, stops me right in my tracks. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? I see that I don't work in subway car, like what's the deal, right? So before I could say a word, she looked at me up and down, and in the most typical Newfoundland way, she says, "Oh, you poor ducky. Here's $10. Well, I did go to late, so I'm gonna leave you one more time. Take me, if you think about it, my nose is the only part of me that runs. Thank you very much.
Comedy is always about challenging and overturning authority, in part because it's always about challenging and overturning assumptions that people in the audience brought in with them when they sat down. I don't mean this in some kind of left-wing fruitcake sort of way. No. Ben Jonson was a rival to William Shakespeare. In his early work, he wrote a whole series of hit comedies. At least one of them got him thrown in jail. He came into conflict with the law many times in those early days because of his work as a comedian. You know what? He sold out. And once Ben Jonson kind of became a stooge for the King of England, nothing he ever wrote was funny again. And unlike Shakespeare, by the way, Ben Jonson's comedy has not aged well. There's this funny thing that happens in stand-up comedy. I've seen it kind of town by town across Canada, where someone gets into a little bit of a position of power and authority, and then their life becomes about the exercise of that power and authority over other comedians, instead of the work of being a comedian, of writing original material as a comedian themselves. Josh Menchions is a talented, hardworking comedian. He has seen me laugh at his material, genuinely, sincerely laugh many times. And he's noticed. There have been several times where he noticed that I was laughing harder than other people in the audience. And he turned to me and kind of pointed to me and commented on it. He's like, "Oh, you're the one guy who really gets that joke." Like, "Oh, wow, okay." So like, that's funny to other people, but it's funnier to you. Sometimes I was the only one laughing. Sometimes like nobody got it. Just a couple weeks ago, I remember he noticed that. And he said to the audience, like, "Oh, you guys don't like that, eh?" And he turned and looked at me and said, "But you liked it. You got it, okay?" I actually can appreciate Josh's sense of humor. He has cracked me up. He has made me laugh many times. Unfortunately, we are gathered here today because there's another side to his character. And I was warned about this the minute I set foot in this city. When I was first in Newfoundland, looking around for a new home, looking around for a house to rent, ultimately, right? People warned me, this guy Josh, what he's going to say about you behind your back, what he's going to say about other comedians behind your back, and what he's going to say publicly on the internet. This guy is dangerous. This guy is trouble. The comedians who said that to me, they don't have receipts. I think in most cases, maybe in all cases, Josh was using a pseudonym, Josh was using a throwaway account, and in his own communications with me before today, I couldn't be sure if it was him I was talking to or someone else. So I've shown other comedians some of the nasty things he said to me in the past, and they said, oh, that's Josh. And they said, oh, and he's done this before. And he's torn apart the comedy scene here, and he's ruined life for comedians. He's made life miserable for comedians with these kinds of antics, creating these kinds of conflicts and escalating these conflicts again and again. So they were sure it was Josh. But I'm skeptical in every sense of the term. Well, today we know, because he has sent me one message today fessing up, admitting that it was him who just lately has been sending me some nasty messages. Okay, here is a comedy set he recorded 1 year ago, 9 minutes long, full set, and you will see there 32 views. 32 views. That's actually a lot of views on YouTube for this guy. Compare these 4 videos. His most recent uploads. One of these has just 2 views. One of these has just 8 views. Here he is giving an interview to another YouTube channel and reaching a whole 33 views. What if you look at the whole history of his YouTube channel and click to display the videos that had the most views of all time? 3 years ago, he managed to have one video that reached 1,600 views, but that video is just 1 minute long. And then after that, the most popular video he ever made 5 years ago has only 411 views. Okay? So, in the immortal words of 50 Cent, you've been hustling a long time, and you ain't got nothing. Last things first, as I like to say, here is Josh admitting that it was him. Then I'll go back and read to you the other parts of this conversation. Quote, "Hey man, heard you cornered Tyler at Fogged Up Comedy like a pathetic schoolyard bully last night, thinking this was him." So when he's saying thinking this was him, meaning thinking that the person writing to me on Instagram was Tyler rather than Josh. Oh. What are you insinuating about my character? That I cornered someone and behaved like a schoolyard bully? I will have you know everything that happened at that club is on camera. Or is it perhaps instead that you, Josh, are making this up off the top of your head, that I shouldn't even blame Tyler for exaggerating or misrepresenting what either one of us said in that conversation? Oh, okay, well, interesting. All right. He says, "This is Josh. Leave Tyler or anyone else involved in LMC alone." LMC is last minute comedy. "Your beef is with me." Woo, tough talk. I'm duly intimidated. "If you got something to say, come say it to my face. I'm at Fogged Up often." To which I reply only by saying, "Your imagination is running away with you." And I then provide the link to a very short video, maybe it's 1 minute long, that I recorded right at that time, right after this memorable conversation with Tyler. And here is the first message he sent to me from this account under this identity that's now been revealed to be Josh. Here he is trying to get me banned from one of the 2 regular comedy clubs in this town. Now, someone that other comedians tell me was Josh got me banned from a totally irregular stand-up comedy club. And the thing that was mysterious there was that, I knew and talked to several of the other comedians involved, including the guy who held the microphone, the guy who was the MC for the event. They all seemed to be cool with me. We didn't seem to have any conflict. So again, other comedians said, "Oh, that's Josh. He does this all the time. Those messages must be from Josh." But I did not jump to that conclusion. I still don't want to jump to that conclusion. But if that was Josh, then this is the second time he has attempted to ban me from a comedy club or comedy event or comedy establishment under the pretext of white knighting for Melissa. Yes, that's right. He's apparently so upset, so surprised, or so hurt by what he's seen on YouTube. about my relationship with Melissa in videos from over 2 years ago now, I guess, that he has to stand up and defend his little stand-up comedy scene, right? From my corrupting influence. Admittedly, nobody is going to be interested in hearing my reply to this, but I'll read it to you just to show that I don't say anything threatening or angry in response. I say, yeah, I clearly fail to live up to the high moral standards set by comedians in this town. Look, let's be clear. A lot of these people confess to incredibly serious sins on a weekly basis. They sometimes confess to committing serious crimes and like putting people's lives in danger every Thursday night kind of thing. Next week, you get an update on their drunk driving antics, on their cocaine antics. Several comedians have talked about domestic violence and the consequences. One of them was talking about consequences involving the police. One was talking about consequences involving a court-ordered visit to a psychiatrist or psychologist. People on stage talk about their lives, and a lot of the material is very dark. So yeah, I open it and say, "Oh yeah, bro, I fail to live up to the high moral standards set by comedians in this town." A couple people have talked to about this, like where you say, it's like, "Yeah, dude, what do you think is so uniquely scandalous about me and my sex life compared to what this, and this person said, like the day before yesterday or something?" Like, pulling examples we're both familiar with, like whoever it is I'm talking to, because we both go to the same shows, we both participate in the same stand-up comedy scene in this town. Guys, I am a sober vegan. So there's all kinds of trouble I don't get into and all kinds of moral compromises I don't make, in part just because of that sobriety. And yeah, the tales these comedians tell, yeah, some of them involve sex, some of them involve violence. Almost all of them involve drugs and alcohol. Okay, so I continue. Melissa, my ex-girlfriend featured in that video, has actually attended shows at the Peter Easton with me. Melissa's been to comedy shows with me at all these venues. Like, the comedians here may not remember meeting her, but they may. They've at least laid eyes on her because she's spent enough time here. So I said, i.e. your shows, Last Minute Comedy. She's been there with me several times. She's flown in and spent time with me after the breakup. You can hear her side of the story or hear the two of us talking about it together instead of hearing an attempt to dramatize it by a drama channel on YouTube if you want to. So this is my reply. I would say Melissa and I recorded and uploaded at least 6 hours of material since the break, like after the breakup. And we did one really good podcast together. You can see it as a video on YouTube, or you can hear it as a podcast on Apple Podcasts or any podcast platform. Talking about stand-up comedy. It's called Instagram is Destroying Stand-Up Comedy. Something like that. Instagram is Killing Stand-Up Comedy. Great video, great, podcast. But we've done podcasts talking about our personal lives, talking about our intellectual lives. You can see that Melissa is cool with me after the breakup, that I don't hate her and she doesn't hate me. This is just not a situation in which I'm holding someone captive. During this whole period of time, we've been living in separate cities. Without getting into the geography of the breakup, she's flown in to spend time with me. But dude, it's a tough situation. Yep, there are videos of her weeping on camera. There are videos of me weeping on camera. I was with Melissa for her when she was age 24 up to age 32. It's a big part of her life. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to... But like, dude, the relationship of two middle-aged, sober, vegan intellectuals, compared to the stuff Luke Lawrence talks about on stage every week. Shout out to Luke. Luke, admit you're a good example. Compared to what Paul says about his sex life every week. Like, lots of people. Lots of these. The other Josh. There were two guys named Josh in the scene here. Come on. A lot of comedians are sharing lurid details of their own sex scandals. Ed the plumber, man. So, if I'm going to be judged by that same standard, and look, all I said further was I gave this screenshot and said, look, that's Melissa's own channel. You can see the comedy videos we used to make together there too. You'll be jealous, winky face. And maybe jealousy ultimately really is the source of the conflict. Maybe that really is the problem. Josh is a talented, hardworking comedian. But he has to take that talent and he has to take that work ethic and he has to funnel it exclusively into developing as a comedy writer. Josh, your ability to write original material, that for you is the only positive potential you've got. The mean things you've been saying about me behind my back, both like face-to-face verbally with other people and on the internet, under myriad false identities or throwaway accounts, right? The games you've been playing as a kind of power monger, as a little Napoleon, moving the chess pieces around the board here, using and abusing the tiny measure of authority you have, basically because you're the guy who organizes and approves who gets to go on stage and who doesn't at the Peter Easton, to perform for an audience of remarkably close to 0 people. Like many of those shows that I've been to, every single person there is a comedian performing that night, or there's someone like me who's like not really a member of the audience, who's kind of sort of a comedian and connected to other comedians, like friends with other comedians. There's Josh! Josh! The ultimate game is no game at all. You need to stop playing these games. You need to commit yourself sincerely to just being a comedy writer. And maybe you can blossom, maybe you can grow. But if you keep doing in the next 5 years what you already have been doing in the last 5 years, we all know where that's going to go. Nowhere.